tonight I'm heading down to South Texas. I rarely come down here during the summer because it gets so hot, it's dry, and I'm really not into road cruising a whole lot. I don't like to spend my time looking for snakes, just kind of sitting on my butt, driving around in the car. But that's really kind of one of the few reliable ways to, or more reliable ways to find snakes in the summer. So naturally I don't go out looking as much during the summer because I don't like the method that's necessary. But conditions are pretty good this week, so I'm heading down south and I'm going to do a little bit of road cruising, but I'm also going to spend most of my time hiking around on roadsides in some deep sandy soiled habitat looking for the Texas scarlet snake. So this is one of the few snakes in Texas that I have not seen yet, and I've only tried looking for these a couple of times. I've never really put in a serious effort. But this weekend I'm going to be spending tonight and tomorrow night doing just that. So my whole goal is to basically try to hike one of these up in habitat, searching specifically in kind of sand drifts that are on the roadside where roads kind of intersect a little bit of their habitat. One of the difficulties in finding this snake is, of course, the habitat accessibility. So these guys seem to, from what I can tell, have an aversion to coming out on the road. They really don't like crossing roads unless there's just a torrential amount of rain. We haven't had that much rain. Now, we have had a little bit of rain this week. We got a nice low pressure system in the Gulf that's causing a little bit more moisture this week, which I think is going to help me out as far as producing conditions where we can get one on the surface. I just don't think that it's really going to be the conditions to road cruise one. So I'm going to try to hike one up in habitat, and hopefully along the way I can find some other snakes. There's a lot of things down here that you know, I don't see that often when I'm flipping, but come up a little bit more often in road cruising. That'd be long-nosed snakes, night snakes. Very rarely, of course, the thorn scrub hook-nosed snake. It's down here. I'd be very excited to see another one of those. I've only seen one. That was many years ago. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I got about another hour and a half until I get to my destination, but hopefully it's a good evening. So we'll check in with you guys when we get something. All right, it only took 2.5 hours, but here's the first at least live snake of the night. Nice little thorn scrub rat snake chilling out here on the road. I was hoping for a glossy snake, and I saw a dead one just a little bit ago. Oh, he's going. All right, come on, bud. Alright, let's get a little bit of an attitude. Alright, good luck. Okay, so now that I'm here, basically I'm just going to be walking these sand drifts that are close to the edge of the road, and hopefully there's a scarlet snake out crawling around hunting. So let's go see how this goes. Hey, there's a little Atrox. That's cool. It's not the rattlesnake I wanted it to be. Let's make sure there's not anybody else around here. Lower light might show up better. That's cool. Very pretty. Very light colored. Well, hopefully the next little rattlesnake is a massasauga. I'm gonna try not to disturb him too much. know I can see snakes. Make a little photo. Real nervous. All right, so to make the most of my time down here, I'm going to be setting up some tin stacks. So we've got a spot where there's just a ton of tin inside this stall at a barn, and it's obviously doing no good right there. And I'm gonna spend, well, I guess as long as I can reasonably do so, spend a bit of time today basically spreading that out into some stacks in this general area. So yeah, let's go look at this big pile of tin and then kind of come up with a plan on what I'm going to do with it. All right. These are just wasps, right? Okay. So there are bees in one of these stalls over here. I think that second stall has Africanized bees, and I do not want to piss those guys off. But I also want to make sure that there's not any hanging around in here. The wasps are fine. A little nervous around them, but I think they'll be okay. All right. Yeah, those sheets. Oh, why are all the wasps just hanging out down in here? All these sheds. So this is where I'm going to build my stack, and I'm picking this spot in particular because of these trees that are growing right here. This is a type of acacia tree, and this usually signals to me that there's more soil moisture in this specific spot. These acacias typically grow in a little bit more of these kind of depressions. This area will collect more water at heavier rainfall times a year, usually probably settling in the lowest spot. But that means to me that the soil holds more moisture, and as a result, I want to target this specifically for milk snakes. So I've got 2 sheets now. I'm gonna bring, I don't know, maybe a dozen of them. It's gonna be a few trips. It's not gonna be very easy, but yeah, I think maybe a dozen sheets for this stack. I'm gonna put it right here where it's got a little bit of shade, a little bit of sunlight on it, because, you know, when you're setting up stuff for milk snakes, you want to make sure that you give them lots of options and a lot of opportunity for you to be there in the right conditions, because they really need very specific conditions. And if you've got something like just a single sheet, you're limiting yourself in the time frame that you can possibly succeed in catching that milk snake. So yeah, I'm gonna put up a bunch of different layers, and just gotta drag those over. A little bit of work, but I think it's gonna be worth it when we flip something here in the fall or the spring. Okay, so I'm about to start setting the base of this stack, and what I like to do when I start a new stack is I want to overlap the layers. So it makes it a little bit tougher to flip through, unless you got, you know, a couple of buddies to flip through it with. However, I think it actually makes a pretty big difference in attractiveness
to fossorial snakes, especially milk snakes. And I think a big reason for that, or what I believe is a big reason for it, is the center of the stack can actually be pretty much impenetrable to light. So there's really not a whole lot of light getting through, and it also doesn't allow wind to carry the humidity through the stack. Like if you have something that's kind of open on one edge, because your natural tendency is to come in from the easiest side, flip it that direction, and what ends up happening is your stack ends up kind of folding out like this, and that creates all these air gaps. And I think that's really unattractive to milk snakes that really want to feel secure. They want to feel like they've got a nice dark area that's the right humidity, right temperature, but they don't want a lot of wind coming through, sucking away that humidity and exposing them to more light. So that's my strategy on setting these. One thing I really don't want though is I don't want too big of a gap, because that's kind of unattractive to milk snakes. But it's got to have big enough of a gap in order for them to get in there. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to overlay like this, but put just a little bit of something in there to make that layer accessible. And we just put a couple of these guys in each layer, and you just got to be aware when you're flipping it, you know, make sure not to clear all those kind of things out. It is hot today. Okay, and then after the first couple of layers, it ought to create a nice little bit of gapping by itself. That should be sufficient for most snakes to get in there. Just throw a couple of these little guys, just a little bit extra cushioning. Now in some areas I will actually clear out the ground. Here it's going to be cooking in the summer sun. It's going to be really hot. This grass is going to die off pretty quick, especially if they don't get rain for a little while, which can happen here in the summer. So I think this should settle in by itself pretty well. Okay, on for more 10. All right, next 2 layers. See, this one's getting pretty flat, and I want to fix that. Right there in the middle. Perfect. So the last sheets going on this, I think a total of 13. Okay, I saved this one for the top sheet simply because it's got this crinkle here, and I wanted to make sure that these lay down in nice layers. Oh, wow, that's a lot of work, but when there's a big fat milk snake or two in this fall or in the spring, absolutely going to be worth it. And that looks beautiful. Heck yeah. Whew. All right, so some may be wondering, is 13 pieces of tin actually necessary? I really don't know. I don't know kind of yet exactly where the proper weight distribution to kind of seal in the moisture lies, you know, with exactly what size stack, you know, because I have gotten milk snakes under single sheets, but we're also in conditions that would produce milk snakes under single sheets, right? So the purpose of the stack, of course, is to maximize the window of opportunity that you have to find those milk snakes and make it attractive to them for more than just a few hours on one day. We want them to use this as a home, place to eat, refuge, shed, do all the different things that they want to do. We want them to do it right here. So yeah, hopefully this is good enough to attract them. It sure looks good to me, and excited to see how this one turns out. Still a lot of tin left back in the barn, and I'm gonna go set up a couple more stacks, but probably not as far away as this one is. This was a lot of work. Okay, so I'm gonna be putting in my second set of tin, and it's actually just right behind the barn here, so my trip's not gonna be that bad. But what the reason I'm targeting this specific spot is because runoff from rain is going to come off of this roof and drop right here, and that's going to increase localized moisture. And I've actually had a lot of success looking around barns like this for milk snakes, and I think one of the specific reasons for that is that there is kind of this localized moisture catch on the edges of these, combined with the extra shade. Sometimes there's a foundation that the snakes can get under. So I think there's a lot of good things about barns that make them attractive to milk snakes when you're in the right region. Now what helps with this is there's the right kind of soil. It's not too sandy, but also not too thick. So we got kind of nice loamy soil here that's going to be attractive to them. Now this is a little bit different grass. Now back where I set that last stack, the grass is a little bit different, right? It was very thin, very short, and I know that grass is going to die off. Now this stuff is actually an invasive grass. Man, Clint knows the name of it. I want to say buffalo grass. I really don't know. I'll have to ask Clint exactly what type of grass this is. But anyhow, it's an invasive grass, and it forms these big clumps that actually it's really kind of hard to kill. So I am going to put in a little bit more work here, unfortunately, because it is pretty hot. But I'm actually going to clear out a foundation or a spot to lay the base pieces. So I'm going to get to that, and then we'll start the stack. Bees. Oh man. All right, well, that's one hazard in South Texas that I absolutely hate. It's Africanized bees, and they're like 3 stalls down from where I was working there at the barn, and I didn't have any problem getting the tin out when I was working there earlier, but obviously they didn't like what I was doing. So maybe I'm not putting a stack there, but I got to go back and get my tool. Oh God, that sucked. That hurts. I didn't get that many stings, but you know, it sucks because they don't stop. Now I have the pheromone, which is primarily isoamyl acetate. It's also known as banana oil. It's the same compound that's used in things like banana flavored candies and vapes and stuff like that, to give it that characteristic banana flavor, which is actually lower in concentration than most bananas that we have now, but it used to be actually very high in one of the cultivars that's no longer in existence. So actually interesting fact. So now I gotta bring the car a lot closer because I need to get my Proho, and I don't want to have to run quite as far from the bees, but I'm gonna be marked and they're gonna come after me, and any of them in the area are gonna come after me. All right, I guess let's do this, and then I'm gonna have to do something else, I guess. What am I gonna do now? This is my whole plan. All right. I don't want to get stung again. I'm probably going to. Just need to get. Oh shoot, I wonder if they're. Well, I have to find out. God, I hate bees. Nope, 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 nope. All right, fortunately, I have a bee suit, and that's how I'm gonna get my tool back, because I got swarmed on the way back over there, so obviously I'm just not gonna get to it without just getting nailed by bees. So I'm gonna use the bee suit and see if I can't get my tool back. Okay, unfortunately I don't have anything for my hands, but that's a very minor thing. Okay, it was about here I got blasted last time. As long as they can't get me and swarm my head, which is what they really seem to like to do, should be okay. I've never actually gone and worn a bee suit in the danger zone like this, so this is a new experience for me. Okay, I think it's safe to get my tool. Let's see, I guess they came from further down here, but oh, bees. I hear them. Trying to get me. I can't. Okay. I hate bees. Ah. It's trying to get me. All right. Mission success. I got my tool, I got my Gatorade. Now time to go figure out something else to do today. So obviously I'm not going to be able to put a tent stack right there under the edge of the barn like I initially planned to. But I don't think I'm going to quit. I've got the bee suit, and I don't see why I can't wear that to pull the tin out of the barn and then move it from there. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be a little bit hotter, obviously, because I'm wearing the bee suit, but yeah, you know, why let my enemies win? So I think that's what I'm gonna do. We'll try it out. We'll see if I, you know, how many pieces I can get out of there. I just don't want to get swarmed by the bees, but if it's just like one or two bouncing around, I think that should be okay. The main problem right now is I've already been stung, so I have the hormones that the bees are attracted to on me, and they're going to want to come after me if they smell that. So we'll see how it gets, but yeah, let's give it a shot. Okay, so I keep getting buzzed anytime I go back over to the stall, so I think I might leave it for today. But there is this stack of 10. So earlier I was actually describing how you flip one on one side, and you know, it kind of ends up having this opening on one side. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is not a very good stack of 10. It's really not designed well, and you know, it was just kind of how we found it, right? So I think what I might do instead now, instead of messing with the stuff over there, since this isn't a very good stack, I don't see any reason I can't just take some stuff off of this and start to use this to make some more stacks. I seem to be getting a little bit less attention from the bees over here. I don't really know where the hive is. I know it's in one of the stalls. I'm obviously at this point not going to go explore more, but yeah, they seem to be pretty upset about my presence, and of course I smell exactly like what they want to attack. So yeah, I think I'm going to start pulling some sheets out of here, and then go set up a different stack elsewhere, and see if I can't design it to look better than this. Just a softball size cane code. Okay, so I'm still gathering to 10. I need to pull over a few more sheets, but I think I'm going to start a stack here. You know, again, it's going to have a little bit of leaf out coverage with the mesquite tree here, but also still get a little bit of sunshine. So I like this nice dappled lighting setting here. And then back over here, just into the woods a little bit, is a little bit of a I don't know, retention pond, or just kind of a little ditch that holds some water. So there's a little bit of extra moisture over here, and overall the soil in this general area seems to be good. You just don't want anything too sandy that drains out so fast that the milk snakes just don't like the surface conditions. So anyhow, I've got this type of tin that I'm going to use on the bottom layers. I really like this because of the nice wide but still kind of shallow grooves in it, because these are probably only an inch deep, but you get a nice wide groove, and it gives a really great spot for a snake there on the bottom of the stack to kind of hide in, kind of slide in there. So I'm not going to worry about moving the grass. Or really, it's a little bit of a dead spot there to begin with, and it should die off fairly quickly. I'm going to put some cinder blocks on the edges to kind of help seal down the edges too. So yeah, let me finish pulling the tin over and stack it up. Okay, so just finished putting together this stack. I think there's about 10 sheets in this. I didn't count them, but this feels sufficient, and a little bit of a multimedia. I've got a couple of different types of tin. I have that stuff here on the bottom. It's got a pretty nice groove to it, so that a larger snake can kind of slip down in there at the very bottom layer. And then of course some classic corrugated tin there on top. And it was kind of warping in the middle, so I put these cinder blocks on top to really kind of add a little bit of weight. I want to make sure that the center layers there are fairly tight, or at least, like, you know, there's not a whole lot of air blowing through there, and we don't want to leave it so open that you know, it's unattractive to milk snakes and other fossorials. So yeah, stack number 2, a little bit more work in some ways, simply because of the bees, but yeah, glad to have another one out. And I'm going to try to get a third, and then I think that may end up being it for now. All right, so I went back over to the stall and was able to you know, use the bee suit, and only had a couple of bees giving me any attention after I gave it some time to cool off. So I was able to get another stack out, and this one again also has about 10 sheets, similar overlapping style as I did on the first one. Just a little bit less sheets. I'm kind of getting tired, and put out a lot so far today, and it's really hot. And again, this is fairly close to that last one, and you can maybe see over in here. Let me walk over to it. But here's our little ditch that fills up with water in the spring, and you know, that's going to be the moisture reservoir, and hopefully that will kind of attract milk snakes and make them want to be in this area, and hopefully use that stack of tin. So yeah, I think that's all the tin I'm going to put out today. I may feel some motivation later after a little bit of a nap, but yeah, that's it for now. And gonna go road cruising and hiking with Clint this evening, so hopefully we can turn up something good, again targeting Texas scarlet snakes and massasaugas. So hopefully something shows up for us, but we'll catch you guys later. Well, it looks pretty from this side. Do we? What do we want to?
A little ways down. You'll make it up.
He looks like he's.
He's like going.
Yeah, now he's going up the road. Hey, I just kind of usher him across. Come on, bud. Go home. Cool.
Oh, that's so cute. Keep back so you can get a good video.
Oh, we got a car coming. Alright, little Texas tortoise. Was he heading that way?
He's heading along the road.
Along the roadside?
Oh, he is.
Okay. Do you know where you're going? Do you know how fast you're going?
It's pretty dark.
Yeah. Like a little orange. Well, should we move him off then?
Yeah. I feel like maybe
Just don't know which way to put him, because I know he's going to cross if we don't put him on the right side.
I think this side.
Okay.
I feel like he was trying to find a little cut in the grass to get through.
All right, now just...
Yeah.
Cool. Good luck. Saw that.
He moved. He started running right when I said that.
No. Oh, that's what we're doing now. That's cool.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, very pretty.
Contrasting.
He's just sitting. He's like stiff.
I didn't run him over.
No.
I don't think I did.
He's very well contrasted, isn't he?
He's just trying to act like a rock.
Yep. It's like, I'm a pebble. Ignore me. Just a sharp pebble. Does he have a track?
He came from this way.
A little skittering. But they're also like kind of sitting up so high when they run too. Which side do you think he wants to be on? Probably this side.
Well, he was
cornfield.
He was definitely heading that way.
Okay. I guess the ants will be anywhere.
He is okay, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's just like... I think he's just turned into a rock. Neat. Maybe he'll stop. Recreate it, but wow. Okay, so this is my first desert massasauga. That's really cool. We're out here. We've seen a bunch of atrox, and we assumed that this was another atrox.
Yeah.
But we said it's sauga size, and there it is. Oh my God, that is worth the price of admission.
There's a little stripe going on his neck.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, that's one I can knock off the list. May not be a scarlet, but that's really cool.
Dude. A real desert saga, not a western, a desert. I feel like you can barely see the rattle.
Yeah.
How small that was.
I'm just like, I'm kind of floored that this has actually happened. Do you have a bucket?
Yeah.
All right, so we're not quite done yet. We have one final step for all these stacks that I put out. We're gonna paint the top of it. So I got Clint with me today. We stopped at the store, got some spray paint, and we just wanna make sure that the outline of this doesn't show up on satellite photos. We wanna make sure it stays well hidden so we don't have marauders come in and flipping our tin when we don't want them to.
Oh yeah, that looks nice.
Doesn't it?
Yep. Got the shade on that side too.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. And it's 13 layers deep, so you got a lot of weight. You got a lot of ground coverage.
Yeah. So we're just doing like little.
Yeah, I kind of want to, like, you know, green for the most part, and then we'll break up the outline with the black and other colors. Ah, that's beautiful. Look at all those shadows.
Not that it's really gonna show, but
Yeah.
oh yeah.
All right, that looks nice. It's not necessarily gonna camouflage it from anybody walking by it, but that's not the point. Beautiful.
So you got.
Choose your weapon.
Do this color next to the grass.
Okay. We can always come back out here and add more paint. Cool. Yeah, so this I think we don't have to worry as heavily about.
Is this where you got?
Huh?
This is where you got stung?
No, I was on the other side of the barn behind it. I was going to put it under the overhang of the roof. But when I would go over there to pull tin, I did like attract a couple of them.
You want to do the same thing, make it look like shadow?
Yeah. Yeah, and this, because it'll have shadows on it, I think we can get away with more green over here.
More green?
On this side.
Yeah.
Because over there, it's going to need a little bit more modeling. All right, well, good luck, marauders. We have painted all the tin, and hopefully none of this really shows up on satellite, so we ought to be able to keep this to ourselves for quite some time. Nothing under that one. I could see why one might get under there, though.
I did find a decay eye under one of these. It can be flipped.
This would be the one.
Moisture.
Hey, eggs. So they're not ant eggs either.
That's a Coniophanies egg right there.
Huh. Sure.
That's the size of them.
Well, that's cool.
And decay are live bearers.
Yeah.
I guess it could be a sonora, but they're not common here.
Yeah, I think kind of nice.
Just, oh yeah, there's a couple.
Yeah.
That's cool. Pennies. Nice.
Neat. Okay.
Should we do it like here, where we'll get a little bit of shape?
Yeah, I was thinking, yeah, this spot that's already kind of cleared a little bit, because it doesn't actually look like the pad's right here.
Yeah, maybe it's further up this way.
Yeah, which I think that's okay. I don't think it has to be on the edge of the pad, because it should just be good soil here.
Nothing here.
Yeah.
Something there, and here. So this is a little intersection.
Yeah. Yeah, let's just, I think, do this spot.
Okay.
The tree can help us out a couple of ways. All right. Looks tasty. So I want to do the overlapping.
Yeah, I was just seeing if we got one with a hole in it or not.
I don't think so. These were all pretty good. Yeah. Still kind of stuff. Yeah. Glorious. It's all of them? Oh, holy.
Just on the edge, so.
Yeah. Is this big enough footprint? Yeah, I think you'll like it.
It's a whole lot lighter
Than yours?
Yeah.
It's got a bit sharper cutting end too. Cool.
Overhang over it.
Yeah, which I like. That'll help hold in moisture too. Nice. Real nice. Something about having all the grass around the edges just makes me feel good. I love it. Good stuff. This is beauty.
So you got this thing from Proho as well?
Yeah.
It's wider too, like it. You get more bang for your buck.
Yeah, and you got to chop it in too if you want to really get into something. It'd be useful for prying.
Find how they are, so we throw the bricks
Well, it's a good question. Do you think that any of this is going to go flying around? Might as well put the brick on it just to make sure, because I think he'd be more upset if he found it all over his yard. Yeah, let me set one of these as kind of a guide, so you know, kind of, yeah, which way are you thinking? Yeah, or we can kind of angle it this way if you want to go a long way, so there's dapple and then sun. Yeah, this is kind of heavy and dull. Yeah, I think that's big enough footprint. Yeah.
Short guy in the middle?
Yeah, sounds good.
Like, you know, I could still do this in my car, but that truck just makes it so much easier.
Yeah. Yeah, because then you don't have to actually drive out, or you can drive out further than, you know, parking and walking it all out. What a great look.
After some good rain, this will come up even further. Hide it.
Yeah. Beautiful. Just beautiful.
You done, man.
You've done a lot of work.
That's fucking beautiful.
Oh, Finn, shut up. All right, I'm pretty sure that's an indigo crossing the road up there. I think I should just run. doesn't give a crap. Holy crap, it's huge. What on earth? That is massive and beautiful and skinny. You need a meal. Wow. Wow. Look at the pattern. Wow. What an incredible snake. Oh, wow. Here, let me put the GoPro back on. Whew. Oh, wow. What a big snake. Man, this thing's... it's a skinny snake. You know, for one so big, it just doesn't have a whole lot of thickness to it. That's unfortunate. Well, I better not waylay you just too long. Let's see, is this a dude? I think it's a dude. Yeah, it looks like a dude. I can't really tell though, but I think it's a dude. Man, well, I don't want to just take up too much of your time because you got to go find some food. That was neat getting to catch you. What a king. All right, good luck.